So the trilogy is called The Legacy of Caliban, and the first book is called Ravenwing, which will become. The idea behind the trilogy is that the Dark Angels discover a conspiracy by the Fallen, and from book 1 up to the end of book 3, the nature of that conspiracy and the importance of it escalates. So in book 1 in Ravenwing, we concentrate on Grandmaster Samael, who's the commander of the Ravenwing. They uncover this conspiracy and then hunt down one of the Fallen. In the second book, the news of what they found sort of spreads to the rest of the chapter. They bring the Deathwing on, and also members of the Inner Circle, the higher ranks of the Dark Angels. So that's in book 2, the Master of Sanctity. So you have the Ravenwing and the Deathwing fighting together. And then book 3 is called The Unforgiven, and essentially that's the whole chapter, plus some of the other successor chapters, all of them fighting towards this goal of sort of quelling this conspiracy, this plot by the Fallen. So we follow sort of a handful of characters through the 3 books who are introduced in Ravenwing, but also each book has a different principal character. So Ravenwing, Samael is one of the principal characters. In Master of Sanctity, the 2 principal characters are Asmodai, chaplain, and Grandmaster Saffron, who's also another chaplain, and they're very different in sort of their approach and style. And in the 3rd book, Azrael, Supreme Grandmaster of the Dark Angels, the guy in charge of it all, he becomes one of the viewpoint characters as well. So we get to see the events from sort of the ground up, from the Space Marines and the guys in the Ravenwing and Deathwing, but also from the commanders, and the difference between what they know, what's going on. No, each book has multiple characters, and its story moves on, so it's not just told from the different perspectives, it's the narrative actually moves on. But what we see is, I suppose, because one of the things about the Dark Angels is these layers of secrecy and kind of stories and lies, we get to see for some of the characters those getting peeled away and them learning more what it is to be a Dark Angel and the history of the chapter. But also, while they're ignorant of lots of things, we have these higher level characters who do know that history already, and the reader gets to see those 2 points of view of what the kind of the commanders and the chaplain see as the truth, and what the guys who they're lying to think is the truth. So it's nice, but we can misdirect the characters without misdirecting the readers, or maybe I'm doing both, and actually so that these layers of truth get revealed to the reader as well as they get revealed to the character. And it also just kind of allows me, with the action, it's still a very action-orientated, fiction because it's 40k, but it allows me to vary the action and the battles through the series as well. So it concentrates on the Ravenwing and their sort of bike-mounted land speeders and all that sort of warfare, and then you bring in the Terminators, the Deathwing, and that sort of close fighting and things. And the 3rd one, you've got all the toys to play with. So the battles, even though they might be fighting similar antagonists in each novel, the fighting can be very different, as well as the characters, the narrative developing, the action and the understanding of how the chapter fights, and to the point, like I said, that to bring in maybe the successor chapters as well, so you can have hundreds of Space Marines fighting in these huge battles. So. Yes, so that was always the plan. This all sort of, not necessarily in detail, but that was the vision for the 3 books, was that escalation of Ravenwing, Deathwing chapter sort of thing. So, and that kind of allows me to hang. I didn't know the details of the individual character stories, and I still haven't worked out the 3rd book. But I kind of sort of know how it ends and how it started, and we'll see how the rest goes. No, this is a contemporary 40k story. Well, it won't involve the lion. I can't necessarily say it won't involve Luther.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thanks.